to this. And it's Friday night already, everybody, the end of the week. Hello. If you're watching in playback, thank you for joining Kristen and I. And we have a special guest who is going to be joining us. We wanted to, a surprise guest, Tom. Yeah. Well, it would have been nice too if you could have been, maybe next time you'll be the surprise guest. But no, it's not Tom, everybody. So we'll wait for a few people to come in. And so, yeah, Kristen and I had arranged, this date last month. And I have somebody who has already, hung out with me on my channel. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to bring that person along for tonight as well? So thank you, everybody, again. This is what happens when Heather has caffeine before a show. She gets tired. I'm tired, and I need to pick me up. And by the time I'm ready to go, I'm like, aloha, Jonathan. Jonathan is here. So, and I know Miss Nancy is there. So let's bring in our guest, shall we? Drum roll, please. And it's Roman.
It's Roman's thumb, yeah.
There he is. So yes, Roman is joining us this evening as our surprise guest. A little last minute, but
I'm the one that's surprised.
We have one more. The more the merrier, right? So we got more people popping in. We got Irene here as well. And Tom, it's just really good to see you in chat. I hope you've had a good week. I know you've been extremely busy. And I know you've been helping Sam recoup. And so it's good to see you in chat. And Irene's like, hey there, Roman. So yeah, Roman said, sure, I'll join you and Kristen.
Shout out to Nancy and to Jonathan. Aloha.
Yeah. Yeah. Aloha. And Miss Nancy is feeling better. And awesome. She will be joining me on Monday for Sacred Feminine, and she's putting Kristen Louise's links in the description for her deck and for the book. And I didn't put Roman's information in the description box because it's supposed to be a surprise. So Miss Nancy, if you go ahead and put one of my mods can go ahead and put Roman's link to his channel in the chat, that would be awesome.
Well, I'm trying to get it to Kirsten's.
He can't wait to get that deck, Kristen.
No, awesome.
There we go. Thank you, Nancy. And so as with every Friday night, and we got Kat here. Hey, Kat. Was it you that said your nickname was Kit Kat? So good to see you. And Irene says, "Oh man, my earbuds just died." Be right back. So as you know, usually when I have a sidekick with me on a Friday night, I ask them how was their week, how things been going. So Kristen, how was your week?
Fine. I'm trying to think of what happened. This week is just a blur. Like what did I do? See, I should look at my calendar before I come on these shows because I just don't remember. Like I barely remember.
She's a busy lady.
Make something up, Kristen.
Yes. Oh well, I traveled to Paris. Went to the Louvre.
Been there and done that.
Yeah.
Envious.
But so yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, I got a new deck.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so I got a birthday present from my sister. I got the Desert Illuminations, which is a very kooky deck. It's so kooky. I love it. And so then I got the.
Back up, Kristen.
What's that?
When was your
birthday?
Oh, it's on the 21st. It's coming up.
We haven't.
Also.
Oh no! So. Happy early birthday to Kristen Louise.
Yeah, and then I got the Telesma just today. I haven't opened it yet.
The what?
Telesma Tarot.
Telesma. That's a beautiful one.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
It's on my wish list, but it keeps growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, well, I hear it's going out of print, so you might want to get it now.
Thank you, Kristen.
Good ahead.
I love it when that's the only one left.
Brianne.
Or Amazon.
Megas, mwah! How are you, my dear? Hope you're having a beautiful day in Oshawa. We had a beautiful day and week here in Ashland, 65 to 70 degrees. It's been lovely. To all my East Coast friends, enjoying the snow, I hope. But I do miss some of the snow, but we're going to get some frost this coming week. So, and not David. Oh, Jonathan, I see that you're COVID, and I go to say, David, his birthday's mom's on the 22nd.
Oh, nice.
Very, very nice. So we have a December, we have a Saggy, and we have a Scorpio. So very, very cool. And so continue. Were you done?
I'm done. Yeah.
Oh, that and posting all those cute pictures of the kitties.
Yes, the kitties keep me busy. So
it's just like every time I keep going, how many times can I type "aw"?
They are cute.
Comments. So yes. And how about you, Roman? How was your week? You had a show this week with
I went to the supermarket. no, I don't know what's happening since November 1st, Dia de los Muertos weekend. It's been a roller coaster ride, Heather. And when was it? The day before yesterday, or was it yesterday already that I did the show with Ramon of Moon Scarab? A major milestone for me, since Ramon was my first contact in this community. So I was very honored to do that. I'm gonna be with Ginger Faye and Nancy Crone next week on the 18th. So stay.
Nice.
Nice.
Other than just laying low. I promise to pick up this mess that I have here with all my decks. I started to do a video response, which I never finished. I've got another video response in the works. Whatever.
So you're keeping yourself busy.
Yes.
So in my mind. But at the end of the day, I end up shuffling cards and playing around. So what can you do?
Well, sometimes that shuffling helps us relax, and there are days when I'll just
tarot is therapy.
Yes, it is. And we also
Absolutely.
have Brianne Love join us. Hello. We had Judith also join us. So we've got 11 people in chat. So thank you, everybody.
On a Friday night? Wow.
Yeah, so make sure to.
I know it's because of you do not.
Oh my goodness! Everyone had to come and see who the special guest was. So,
no, yeah, because you told them it was Del Toro, and you ended up with Frankenstein.
Stop with the self-deprecating, or I'm going to.
No,
going to mute you.
The monster.
And Jonathan says it's only
at 3 p.m.
Yeah. So, all righty. So we have a very interesting show. So initially, Kristen was going to be on taking a trip to New Orleans, which had to be canceled. But she says we can still talk about New Orleans, and I'm like, yes. And Roman also has some New Orleans decks. So this is going to be a night of New Orleans voodoo, maybe some Marie Laveau. We'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to open the floor to Kristen, and go ahead and share what you got or what you wanted to share.
Well, I mean, I'm no expert on voodoo or New Orleans. I'm a white girl from Ohio. So I do not promise to be, a perfect source for voodoo. I've just been researching it to prepare for my trip and everything. So and unfortunately, my trip had to be canceled because some issues with my cats, which then resolved itself after we canceled the trip. But yeah, like in New Orleans, we actually had tickets to go see. There was an Anne Rice memorial event that her son was holding, and we had tickets to it, and that was the main reason we were going down there. And we had like our vampire outfits ready and everything. And
you have vampire outfits.
Yeah, we just like I just got like a really nice dress is all, and my husband got like a top hat and all that fun stuff and fangs and stuff like that. So
have you been to before, Kristen?
What's that? Once when I was young, in my early 20s, my dad took me in like August. It was sweltering.
So you have been there. Okay.
Yeah. So, but that was a long time ago. That was pre Hurricane Katrina. So,
right.
My cousins used to live there. So, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, like I'm interested in all different spiritualities, and voodoo is something that I'm interested in. Like just like so many other spiritualities I'm interested in. And I just wanted to educate myself before I go down there, because it's become very commercialized there, voodoo. Like it's just sold. And it's like, no, this is someone's religion, and it's like voodoo lounge and like voodoo potato chips. And it's like,
well,
that'd be like having like
up here.
What's that?
There's a donut bakery shop in Portland.
Yeah, voodoo donuts. Yeah, and it's like that's like saying like Catholic donuts, Catholic lounge, Catholic potato chips.
See, those wafers are good for something, right?
Yeah. That's what they are. Potato chips.
You just can't eat one, right?
Absolutely.
Nope.
Then suddenly you're under the spell.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, I could go into like just brief description of the history that I know. That I was married in a voodoo church in Jamaica once. Oh, interesting.
Oh my!
Awesome.
See, we all have interesting
Very
stories.
interesting. Yeah.
Raise the dead. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, watch what you wish for. So
yeah. But so to go into just briefly, the origin of voodoo, New Orleans voodoo, came out of both Africa and Haiti. So there's through the slave trade. And so it was sort of imported from Africa and Haiti into the colonies, which was French at the time, when it started to develop. And it also synchronized with some Native American spiritualities as well, because there was some contact between slaves and Native Americans as well. And so it's just a blend. And then it met up with Catholicism. And so a lot of their iconography is based on Catholic saints, but they're actually symbolizing the Loa or the Orishas, the spirits. That they work with. And it's a very ancestral. It's a very ancestral religion. It's very focused on spending time with the ancestors and honoring the ancestors. And it's also very animistic. So they work with herbs a lot, and so there's the spirit of the herbs and the plants that they work with. And so that's part of their magic practice.
So
that's what I got.
Ask you, what's the difference then between hoodoo and voodoo? So I know they the terms are they've been used interchangeably, but there is a difference. There is a difference, and I'm no expert, and I get it gets a little foggy for me too. But hoodoo is a magic practice. Voodoo is a religion. Oh, so like witchcraft and Wicca. Wicca, witchcraft is more of a practice, just loosely in the same idea. Yeah. And so like hoodoo, I know is often like it's considered by a lot of African Americans to be a closed practice, that you have to be of African descent in order to practice it, because it's based like root. It's also called root work. And so it's all about like your roots and where they came from. And so that's very embedded into hoodoo. So yeah, I mean, your mileage may vary on how you view that, but yeah, so that's what I know is the difference. So, have you ever heard of someone in New Orleans called Bloody Mary? She's supposed to be a local voodoo priestess. She's a white lady.
Oh, Bloody Mary?
Yeah.
No.
She goes by Bloody. I think it's Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I know. Like there are white people that have begun practicing voodoo. Yeah.
I first learned of her when I was watching Ghost Adventures going back, I think, 8 years or so ago, and they were investigating. I think it was Myrtles or one of the plantations, and to open themselves up to the spirit world, to the spirit in the spirit world, she was invited to do a ceremony, and she did all the liquor and the offerings, the cigar, everything, and she made a couple of and this was, I think, pre-Katrina, and then they did a show again with her afterwards. Her place was pretty much salvageable, and she did something else working with them, and I know she has a website people can go down to to get services and things from her. And I do remember on that episode when they were asking if they knew anybody who practiced voodoo in the area. The one woman who was a part of the staff of the plantation they were investigating has said, "No, I really don't know." And then one of their sources had called them and said, "Well, there is a young man, and he knows her." And they were like, "Well, why would she not lie to us? Why would she not tell us the truth?" And he was willing to meet up with them, young black man. And he says, "Well, it's because it's very private. We don't want, like you say, everyone, take, misinformation, and people come here, they all want the experience, you know what I mean? It's all would be for the wrong reasons." And so they apparently, this young man was willing to talk to them. But yeah, it's interesting how same thing with Native American shamanism. A lot of white people in the North Americas are kind of, it's still that, is it cultural appropriation, or should they be doing this? But again, it depends on the culture themselves. If they find somebody outside of their culture that they feel are respectful enough, and that their own ancestors are willing to accept them into the practice, then I understand that. So
yeah.
And Moira, really quick, has joined us. Hello, Moira.
Hi.
And Jonathan also shared, "My aunt used to live in New Orleans and escaped the hurricane by only 20 minutes. My cousin from my other aunt's sister of the aunt who lived there had just moved in with her to go to university." Oh, wow. That's too bad.
Yeah.
So, was there anything else you've gone there? Because a lot of people may not know, but Kristen has a doctorate, right?
No, master's, just a
master's. Okay.
Yeah.
In different religions, theology. So you want to know a little bit about something.
Awesome.
You reach out to Kristen. I sometimes do.
Yes. If I don't know the answer, I'll know where to find it. So
yes, exactly.
That's valid.
Yeah. So one other thing I'd like to say is like the whole commercialization of voodoo, the whole voodoo doll thing. It's not a thing. That's not a voodoo thing. That was something that was invented, and
really?
the putting pins in it, that's not from voodoo. So yeah, like the whole, that's not in voodoo. So
that's more like a folk magic that was practiced by because I know there's such things as puppets. So do you think they took that?
Yeah, like puppets are European in origin. Yeah. But like the whole putting needles in it and everything that like Hollywood has like shown to be part of voodoo. Like I mean, Hollywood has just really butchered the religion. Like I think of from puppets
in the colonial times.
Yeah.
They have butchered vampires. Now they can go out in the sunlight and they're not afraid of the process. and they're buff. They go to the gym. Wow! And you need
sparkle.
And you need a weapon of mass destruction to get rid of them now.
Yeah, but there are still cultures even to this day there's still that fear and stigma. I saw one of the shows where I can't remember. I don't know if it was in Romania or what, but villagers really thought one of their neighbors was a vampire. And after he died, they went to his grave, dug him up in the middle of the night, and, did a number on his body to make sure. And they got arrested. The guy got arrested for doing it, but he's like, I'm not sorry. They really still have that mentality that they think they really do exist. And there's even been stories, especially that they released during Halloween and stuff, where they do the documentaries, where one woman said that she had an experience where she was waiting on a street corner after getting out of a bar, and she goes, and a man had come up next to her, and she said that I can't remember exactly how she described it, but she remembers being like hypnotized by this individual. She remembers seeing the faint, and whether they were real or not, some people are saying that they do exist, or from their experience, they do exist. So this could have been a very well done cosplay, or I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's possible that they do exist, or if it's another dimension? I'm curious.
So
I don't.
I would leaning with what Kristen said about everything being so Hollywood. I think there are energy vampires out there.
Energy.
Most of these legends, whether way out, may have some underlying story. I mean, we know from Dracula, for example, was Vlad the Impaler, etc. So I wouldn't totally. I don't think it's the Hollywood vampire type of thing, but I wouldn't rule it out.
This person said that it was very much so. I mean, it was like 1 minute they were there, 1 minute they were gone, because friends ended up coming out, and she said it was just a person that it just scared the hell out of them, because it was just something felt extremely seductive, but also very it was predatorial as well. And so to this day, she goes, I'm not saying it was or it wasn't, but she goes, from what I experienced, she goes, I think I was in danger, And there are cults or sects. I don't know if they're called cults or they're called sects, SECT. But where people do, take the vampire thing to another level, where they go to, lounges and places, and they actually do share they drink each other's blood.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole subculture of vampirism. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I promised I wasn't going to go there, but they might be found in the Epstein files.
Just mine.
Purposes only.
Forget that bad joke. Bad joke. Kirsten, I recently obtained this. I don't know if you can read it. It might be back.
Yes, the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Yes. I
just recently got this. The guidebook is intense. It does discuss a lot of those issues. For me, particularly being of Cuban heritage, so Santeria has the similar roots to voodoo. What fascinates in our, I don't practice it at all, but I can't help it. It's part of our culture, And what fascinates me about this whole thing is that the human survival, the resilience of these cultures and religions to incorporate into whatever was dominating the atmosphere at that time in order to survive. And also being from a Catholic background, we're supposed to be worshiping one God, but then you have this whole pantheon of saints. So what the hell? Yeah.
What the hell?
I found that lady that I mentioned was mentioning earlier, the New Orleans serial killer. Her name is Madame Delphine Lalaurie.
So tell us about her.
She was somebody who was suspected of. She was let me read it from Google, Wikipedia. Madame Delphine Lalaurie was a socialite in New Orleans. suspected serial killer who tortured and murdered enslaved people in her household. And I think that if I'm not, what's the actress name? I think there's a movie out about her. If not, it's part of the American Gothic stories.
American Horror Story.
Stories, I think.
Yeah, she was in that. Yeah, she was portrayed in that.
Hey, Ginger.
So maybe something to check out, Kristen, when you go there as well, because I think her house is as a museum as well.
Wow.
Are you going to plan to go there? Not necessarily for the party, but just,
Yeah, we're going to go in early May. So
in early May.
I've been to New Orleans 3 times. It's a fascinating city.
I've never been.
Oh, you owe it to yourself. And the food, is it?
The food, yes. The food alone is worth going.
Magic, yeah.
There's a lot of dark stories. I know that they were talking about, there was one where one of the corners, the buildings, it was, I don't know if it was a prince or somebody from this is going back, I think, more like turn of the century, where he had left his country and he had this the corner building on this one street, and all his guests and his staff had just all, including himself, had been assassinated. They were all taken, and I can't remember what but it's the story that just said there was, and I'm like, who would want to buy this building? Who could live in a building where there was this mass slaughter? And it's a lot. And then there's even that story about that young couple who stayed, after Hurricane Katrina, and he ended up, losing his mind and ended up killing his girlfriend, and basically, fridge and stuff and whatnot. And some people are still saying that it's the spirits from, over all the years, and with all the magics and things that are practiced there, that it's kind of, people say it's a cool town, but at the same time they said, it's kind of like one of those towns where the veils are very thin, I think, no matter what time of year, and a lot of the dead are buried above ground in downtown, right, Kristen?
Yeah,
all buried above.
The cemetery is awesome.
So I can imagine, and then something like Hurricane Katrina coming in with that much power and that energy to fuel any spirits that may have felt like they had been mistreated, misjudged, or all that violent history and residual energy, even if it wasn't the actual, any lingering spirits themselves, but with a storm that powerful to come through, that must have supercharged that whole area. And
the fact that anybody would think of building or creating a city and living there is amazing. This is on the delta of the Mississippi, which is swamp and below sea level practically. It's amazing. So it's magical, really.
So what was your experiences, Roman, that
what?
you wanted to share about New Orleans? You said you were there, right?
No, I was there 3 times. I was there mostly for work, Heather, and just went around, drank hurricanes, and ate fantastic food.
Did you go to Marie Laveau's tomb?
No, I didn't do any. I didn't do any of those touristy things.
Her house isn't even there anymore. Like, there's a plaque, where her house used to be. But it's all by what we know about her. A lot of it, most of it, is through word of mouth, like through stories told. There's not a lot of historical documents about her that sort of lend to facts. Like, we do know that she was what was called a quadroon, which is she has one black grandparent and the rest were white. So really? we know that.
Oh, that's called quadroon. Okay.
Quadroon, yeah.
But she was also a political figure in New Orleans. No, she was a mayor or something like that. New Orleans had something.
I don't know about that. I know that she did a lot of they say that she did a lot of charity work. She worked with the Catholic priests there, that they were friends. And
all things I didn't realize. So that's when Kristen was mentioning this, I'm like, oh, definitely, you got to share this because I think a lot of us only know what we see on TV. You know?
Yeah. Like Coven, American Horror Story Coven. Like they Marie Laveau is on there, and they like portray Papa Legba, which is this Loa, a spirit, and they portray him like this like Jamaican badass, you know, who's like just gonna rip your face off and stuff. But he's like this grandpa. He's like this grandpa figure that like he loves children. And so when someone becomes possessed by the Papa Legba's spirit during ritual, all the children will go around Papa Legba, and like he'll take care of the kids. So that's the energy of Papa Legba, but that is not what you see in Hollywood. So
So in Santeria, Legua is Saint Lazarus, the guy with the so it's a he's one of the most popular that people pray to, and again,
what's his name?
Legua, Saint Lazarus, I think.
So, and that's from which culture?
Santeria in Cuba, Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Yeah, known as Candomblé in Brazil. Yeah.
See, Roman's got skill. He's got knowledge. He's dropping it on us.
Well, it's something you can't help it. It's our in Cuba, Our Lady of El Cobre, which is a manifestation of the Virgin Mary, and it's her patron saint. Her Santeria equivalent is Oshun, which I'm sure you've heard.
Really, Oshun.
Wow. Our Lady of the Oceans.
Yes, one of the goddesses I learned when I was younger was included in my deck was Oria, Yamayai, and Oshun. Yamaya, I've heard pronounced Yamaye, Yama, so I'm just like, I'm trying to make sure I pronounce it at least properly, respectfully. So, but yeah, and same thing with different cultures. One will be like in Welsh and, Irish, and then you have the separate, UK English, you'll have the goddesses and the gods, and they'll be just a similar name, but no, they're supposed to be different, but they're all kind of the same energy or the same concept. So from when each culture goes to different areas, and they take their gods, and their beliefs, and then they mix and then they move on to the next. So it's really amazing. We are a melting pot really on this planet, we really are. So if there was anything else y'all wanted to add, let's see. Irene says, this is great. I don't know much or anything you guys are talking about. And Jonathan says, my kids call me Papa. Miss Terodi.
Hi.
How they call it, La Madrina? She goes, godmother, our fairy godmother.
That's right.
Hello, my dear. And Tom's still here, I think, Miss Terodi. So, and Kat is saying, I'm admiring Roman's shirt.
I'm still writing. I'm still riding my Dia de los Muertos roller coaster. So there was a very interesting video that looked like it had been taped in the 1950s, and I just saw it briefly, but it was some authority or theologian talking about religion, Kristen. How all the whether Islam or Christianism or whatever, they have all borrowed from the prior religions before. So whatever we have now is a product of you
had the Canaanites, and then you had the Israelites. The Canaanites morphed into the Israelites, and the Israelites became Judaism, and Christianity came out of Judaism, and then Islam came out of that. So yeah.
And all before that, there was a male female.
Plagiarism is what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, yeah, for me,
and the fact that the religion divides us, and we fight over whose God is the best. That's just freaky.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's exhausting.
In the name of religions. So was there anything else you wanted to add, Kristen or Roman, about our little topic of New Orleans?
No, I think we should put you on, Heather, because you had this great idea about how we were going to handle this.
Well, I had an idea.
Session.
So many of you who are new to my channel, I've been on not Facebook, YouTube now for a good going. Actually, this month I'm actually coming up on my anniversary date next week for being on. I believe I'm going on 4 years, or I'm celebrating 4 years.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
On the other channel,
Oh.
my Indigo Jaguar was couple of incarnations prior to that. But one of the things I had done in my earlier circles was I got together with readers and we would pick an individual from history and then see if we can communicate with them via through our cards or as spirits, if they could give us information on these individuals, their life, what might have happened to them, etc., depending on who the individual was. As an example, one show I used to do with Heather, I can't remember the name of it. It's been so long. Another reader, one time I took like Kristen Pfaff from Whole, and she took, I can't remember who she took, but they were like, we would read on them. Like also there was the group of women during the war who flew over Germany. I can't remember what they were called, the Nighthawks or the Night Witches or something, and they were actually bombing, and they actually helped, and they even survived with a damaged plane to be able to help the Allies during the war. So women like that from history, we would pull cards on and read on them. Yeah. And
Wow.
so I thought for tonight a similar idea, seeing that we're talking about New Orleans and the main star or main figure that people know of is Marie Laveau. And I was interested to see if we wanted to pull some cards, see if we get any messages maybe from is it Madame Marie Laveau? Do you know how they properly address her?
I don't
anybody may know how to address her. It was
Marie Laveau.
Yeah, I don't know. There's the Monbo, which is priestess. So she was a priestess.
She was a priestess, so Mambo Marie Laveau. And see, what messages she might have, and then open the floor for any. Well, I mean, to do something like that though would be like, maybe just asking spirit, or because what Nancy and I do, our sacred feminine, we ask the goddess, for a message for people. Now Marie Laveau, I don't know if she's considered goddess status, but we know that she was actually a figure, who walked the earth. And I know she was extremely powerful, and I do not want to be disrespectful of her at all. But I thought it might be interesting just to see if she might have a message for the collective, doing that instead of what, for our time, see what she has to say. And I presented this backstage to Roman and Kristen, and Kristen said she's never read something like that, but she's game, and Roman said the same thing. And we wanted to ask chat what you thought about this idea. Do you think this would be something interesting, something in your opinion respectful to do, just to pull cards and maybe get some information or messages from Miss Marie Laveau and see what people think. So I haven't seen any comments yet. Miss Tarot D says, I agree with Roman. That's why everyone should just worship me moving forward. Well, there you go. That takes care of everything.
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy. Let's see. And Jonathan said, I think a lot of monotheism has its roots in the Egyptian era of the worship of Amun-Ra during the time of Tutankhamun's father. Yes. And when Tutankhamun took over the throne, he made sure that it went back to the pantheon. And of course, that lasted just so long. But yeah, he was one of the ones that, brought that back. Let's see. Amun-Ra is still praised every time someone says amen. Very interesting. And Ms. Taro D said, I had a restful day. I presented a major conference yesterday. Yes, you did. I saw that on Facebook. Congratulations. It went very well, but I totally sapped my energy. I believe it. And let's see, Nancy Jonathan, you carry a wealth of information. Yes, he does, especially when we talk about crystals. I didn't realize Jonathan changed his screen name. Yes. And Ginger says, I can imagine the energy drain. Oh, so they're trying to spell Miss Tarot D. So I haven't seen any thumbs up or thumbs down. So did you want to see if we get a message from Miss Marie Laveau for the collective?
Sure.
Sure. Then we can just open. So I'm going to read a little bit on Marie Laveau, according to this book. It says here, and let me know, because this is written by Vixen, and let me know, Kristen, if something that he put in here isn't accurate. I'm interested, but I think he's pretty good with the information he presents. So the Voodoo Queen. Known as the Voodoo Queen, Marie Laveau was a powerful spiritual leader who played a significant role in the cultural and religious traditions in New Orleans. Known for her compassion and assistance to the less fortunate, she conducted rituals, provided guidance, and offered healing to those seeking her aid. But light always attracts darkness, and so Marie also explored the dark arts, including casting curses and necromancy. Her malevolent practices contributed to the fears and superstitions associated with voodoo and further fueled the perception of her as a dangerous force. Marie Laveau dances between the realms of shadows and light, reminding us that the dark arts always come with a price. She serves as a cautionary reminder that wishing harm onto others, even in moments of anger or hurt, can have a profound impact on your own life's experiences. The wheel of karma is ever turning, and what you send out into the world ultimately finds its way back to you. Dark magic is a double edged sword that demands respect and responsibility. It warns against the temptation to use power for selfish or harmful purposes. It is crucial to approach the practice of dark magic with integrity, understanding the consequences of your actions, and ensuring they align with your highest intentions. The end. So, are you familiar with any of that information about her practicing the dark arts, including curses and necromancy? Do you think that's
I mean, I haven't heard that. I'm sure there's some stories about her that came out like that were like that, and I'm sure maybe she did curses. I mean, she probably would get hired, maybe, to earn money, to do spell work for other people. So
necromancy is also a very broad term, Heather.
yeah,
So using
it's
bones.
not. It doesn't have to be like. I don't like how it's presented as her almost like she's evil. I don't like that. Yeah.
So what exactly then for people in chat, myself included, how would you so with necromancy, how would you describe it?
Necromancy to me is summoning, invoking people who have passed on, and their presence and energy. That's what necromancy is. It's working with the dead.
Yeah, dead.
Yeah. Okay, because I know some people associated with also people digging up graves and removing people's remains and performing Well, I mean, there are people who have done it in life.
I mean, that do that. Yeah,
but that's not that's just maybe people who aren't quite right, maybe in their mind, or this is not generally what's accepted, or what, like with witchcraft, people are, say, well, we don't work with the devil, we don't do this, but there are some witches who are called, that consider themselves satanic witches, and they do align themselves with what we would consider, Satan or devil. So is that the same with necromancy then? Just like anything, there are people who do necromancy to communicate with the dead, their ancestors, and they're the ones that kind of take it a step further and do other rituals.
But I think you started off with the right idea. Be careful what you play with, and what goes around comes around.
Yeah, that's what the book said. Yeah, same thing here. And I just wanted to make sure that I put that out because I don't want people in chat to get nervous or to get scared. I just wanted to make sure that this is why we have these conversations so that we learn. And I've learned the same thing from Tom, and from, Selena when they talk about Santa Muerte, and Tom talking about Baphomet. And so kind of taking a lot of what is social media, Hollywood, or what's like clickbait to get people and try to kind of peel it back a bit more and see really what is at the core, like an onion.
And we know that splash and gore sells. So
yes.
And I might be, in the minority in that, like, I don't see cursing and hexing as always and everywhere bad. Like, I see it as a tool that is used by oppressed people who don't have the privilege to use a legal system. That is really when you see curses and hexes that people hire on, like witches or cunning folk. It often historically was done with the poor people who didn't have a voice in the legal system would say, look, my child was just, brutally murdered and I can't do anything about it. Can I curse the murderer, please? And like, I don't see that as bad. I honestly don't. I don't see that as bad. I personally think that it's a very privileged position to say, turn the other cheek, and just let bygones be bygones. And because I think there are situations that call for justice. And that's what I don't think it should be taken lightly. Absolutely not. Like, don't hex someone because they cut you off in traffic. It's a tool for justice.
Exactly.
So that's how I see it.
That way.
Very, very good point, Kristen.
Tom says, I am with you, Kristen. So is Miss Taro D. And Jonathan says, mediumship should be considered necromancy. And Tom also said, oop, that's not Tom. That's Irene. This is how chat jumps. There we go. There's Tom. Honestly, people are misunderstanding that maybe they shouldn't be hanging around esoteric spaces. But this is why we have these conversations, so that we can learn, we can take the stigma out, we can take the fear, and just also being educated, knowing that, again, for every cause, there is going to be an effect. And it's our own personal moral that we have, or ethics that guide us, and we let that guide us in what we choose to say, believe, do. And just like Kristen said, I never thought of it that way, where it's people that are privileged that say to turn their cheek when, like you said, people who are oppressed, and I've seen this with people in my family who are trying not to get too heavy, but women in my family who have been, let's just say, assaulted, and the people involved got away with it, and they're like, oh no, just it's for family, we keep it in the family, we just put it on the rug, we don't talk about this or that. And then it's like, well, where's the justice? Where do we keep this individual from moving forward and maybe doing something else? So I can see that aspect of keeping women safe, keeping children safe, keeping men safe. There are men too that are a part of abusive relationships. We just not just the women. There are a lot of men who are abused by women, especially not just intimate partners, but mothers and other people that raise them. So it really, I can see how that all comes around. I'm trying not to go off on a tangent, but sometimes how Heather Spring works. So
Heather, and I think, for those of us who meddle into spirituality, to be aware there, where there's light, there's dark. Yeah, and so just even if you just choose to play with one, doesn't necessarily obliterate the other one entirely. Yeah.
And Miss Carol D says people often want to put magic to good into good and bad boxes. And for me, for me personally, I could never see myself doing a hex or a curse. It doesn't resonate or sit well with me. But if someone feels they need to do that for something that happened to them or for someone in their family, then I allow for that for them to, you know what I mean? We're all going to be different. So I think that's what they call right hand and left hand. And then there are those who consider themselves gray, if I'm learning correctly. I think that's something Selena and Bobby talk about. There's a right path, which is light, and I think the left is dark, and then you have the gray in the middle, if I remember understanding correctly. So again, it's all personal preference, what feels right for us. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only, and this is just each of us sharing how we personally perceive and feel, and we're just learning from one another. So this
Absolutely.
isn't, yeah.
We love to hear the opinions of those.
Yes, and people are still sharing. Tom says, I only hex YouTubers when they forget my birthday, Heather. Tom!
Hanson, thumbs up, thumbs down. You're cursed.
Oh, goodness. And Irene says, I had a YouTuber threaten to curse me and put me in a jar in her freezer.
Someone's unhinged. What did you do?
And I'm told that she did. So, yeah, no kidding. Oh, dear. Yes. So,
Well,
again,
I think magic only works if you believe it does. So if somebody throws a spell on you and you're convinced that this spell is going to work, then it's going to work. And it's more your own doing than anything else.
I mean, what's putting you in the freezer gonna do? I mean, make it cold?
well, I knew a woman who does she does the folk magic. This was going when I was with this one group in Buffalo. It's been about 6-7 years. But she says one of the things you can do is if you have someone who is coming after you that is attempting to harm you or do bad against you, to keep them at bay and for them to stop doing that, to protect yourself. She says you would put their name into a bag, into water or freezer, and put it in the freezer and freeze them, to freeze their actions, to freeze them from coming after you, that kind of thing. So there's different ways. She said she would talk about doing something with pepper. She said you can put it in a freezer. So these were, ways of, keeping yourself protected from an individual who was out to harm you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And she had practiced Italian. She used to wear also when she would do she did a couple cleanses. She would take the egg and she would go over us. She would wear her rosaries on her wrists, as part of what her grandmothers had taught her. She would do blowing, did something because she did one of them once for me, and having to like blow certain things on you underneath your feet, going outside, washing things. I mean, it was a whole, being raised on, on folk magic. And I think she had one of those books Miss Tarot D talks about, along with Selena, one of the Italian folk magic books, I believe.
Estrega.
Yes, Strega. Yeah. Let's see. Jonathan says, Irene, and that's a good reason to have mirrors in your windows to reflect curses back to the sender. Yeah, I've heard about the mirrors. Roman, if you feel unsafe, just blink your eyes and Tom will rescue you.
I've been trying to blink my nose blink my nose and see if it will pick up this room, but nothing. It's not working.
Good night, Miss Nancy. I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for popping in. Feel better, my
Nancy.
dear.
See you soon.
Let's see. It's all perspective. Yes. Let's see. She was a supporter of the U.S. president. Who was?
The woman that put her in the fridge.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
yeah, numb nuts. Yeah. Well then, oh my goodness. Putting someone in the freezer is considered a binding spell. Yes, to keep them from, harming you. Let's see. And Beth is here. Hey, Beth. Putting things in the freezer stops things from happening. So I assume it would stop people from some sort of activity. Yes, that's how it was explained to me. Tom says, yeah, it would be for binding or slowing someone down.
Okay.
By the way, that is not my definition of the left-hand path, unless I got that wrong. So again, this is just something that, so I believe it was left is dark and right is light, and then there's the middle, which is the gray. I think that's
I
how
think
I
that's
understand.
white and black magic, and then in the middle is gray.
The middle is gray. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's see, Mona
I
said,
think like the right-hand path is working with light beings and beings beyond you, and the left-hand path is working with your own power. Beth, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not.
We're here to learn.
Yes, we're here to learn.
And Mona says, somebody told me that once about putting me in a freezer. I closed one eye and thought, I keep my house 65 degrees in the winter and summer. I like the cold. Oh my, that's funny. They have a little bit of sense of humor with that. Let's see. She said,
for every rule, there's an exception. So.
Yeah, Miss Tara D can't touch this. You guys are funny. So, but yeah, if anybody has what their personal experiences or their personal understanding, please share. That's what, I want to be able to do when we have these conversations, is to be able to, so are we still comfortable with pulling a card to see what a message from Marie Laveau would be? Are we still comfortable with that?
We can only try.
All right.
Yeah. See what comes up.
Oh, and really quick, Beth said, every time I go, left path is about individual empowerment and basically following alternative paths to organized religion. See, now that's a new perspective for me. So thank you. That's something different. Okay. So let's see. Madame Marie Laveau. Does she have any messages?
What are we doing, Madame Laveau, please?
Oh, wow. This is all with you honor and respect. I ain't got my black cell here, Miss Tarot D. That is interesting. Oh, that laugh. I'm wondering if I should pull from another. I think I'm going to pull from Kristen's deck tonight. Also.
Oh.
For people who don't know, Kristen Louise has created her own deck, and the links to her deck and the guidebook are in the description below. Yeah, I'm interested to see what Kristen gets, because Kristen's got some of those really unique, out of print, one of a kind cool decks also. Let's see. What did Tom? Let's see. Let's see how else people are. So Jonathan says right hand path and left hand path are both tapping into your own power. The right can call on angels and good deities, and the left call on demons and, evil deities. At least that's how I see it. That was, how it was presented to me as well. And then Tom said, honestly, there are different ways people define LHP. Depends somewhat on the system you are working with or just your viewpoint in general. I think at this point, it's down to the individual to define exactly, as it is easily misconstrued. And Jonathan agrees. Whew. You all set, Roman?
Yeah. I'm pretty much, but since it's your usually us. I think I have some very interesting cards.
Me too. They just kept coming out. I'm like, okay, I'm getting the message. Okay, so the first card that comes out is the Sun card. And for, the sun, shining light, success, good luck. I pulled a clarifier for that. And I got the Three of Pentacles. So work to me, this is the collaboration, working together to bring things into the light, to work mainly for the light. Not saying that having to work in the shadows isn't, but in this reading, the sun was really amplified in, for me too, shining light. Let's shine, the light on this situation, on this issue. And it was all about working with others in collaboration. Next card I got is the Nine of Pentacles. And this is typically shown the woman standing in her own garden of her own making. She's stable, she's secure, she's financially well off. She worked hard to get there. Next card, and this blew me away, Kristen, because you said she did charity work and donations.
Mm-hmm.
Six of Pentacles.
Oh.
So the Six of Pentacles came out. So this wealth and prestige she used it to help others in need. People gave to her, and she reciprocated. So it was an energy exchange, even back and forth. Now the underlying energy is the Five of Pentacles. So I'm feeling this message in two ways: a lack of understanding of who she was, and this is the candle showing the light of that, and also helping people who felt isolated, the ones that were left out, that were destitute, that could not speak for themselves. And this connects to me with the collaborator, because this was the underlying card, so the underlying energy. So I'm feeling like working with others to help them, to help those less fortunate, like you said in the beginning. And with your cards, she is all about strength, looking into the deep. For me, this is very High Priestess. So this is all about connecting into her magic, her intuition, her psychic ability, developing our insight, learning how to see. And then this was the interesting card. I got Harvest. And for me, this kind of, the first thing that jumped into my mind was the harvesting of souls. And with the harvesting of souls, I'm feeling like it's the communicating with them, the gathering of them. She helped these souls both on the physical plane and in the spiritual plane, bringing together and harvesting abundance and being able to share that with each other. And that's what I got. I thought that was really interesting. So what did y'all get?
Roman, you can go next.
Do I go?
Yeah.
Okay, so Heather, what's interesting, so the first card I pull is the Ace of Pentacles, which so Pentacles seems to be a big thing with Marie Laveau, but I got it in reverse.
Oh.
And ideally the Ace of Pentacles, it means starting a new project, material wealth gathering, etc. But I couldn't help it but feel that this card was telling me of upsetting the status quo more than anything else. Just really standing up against the current. Then sorry. The next card I got was the Magician, but also in reverse.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So again, I think we were talking about magic and preconceptions of what magic is and what it's not, or what it may not be, and all these taboos. Again, what I'm sensing from this card is that she was a magician of some sort, but not in the traditional sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. What did you call it, Kristen? Amamba?
Manbo, Manbo, yeah, a high priestess, yeah.
Because then the third card was the Ace of Swords. Just cutting through the bullshit, being clear and just being cutting edge on your beliefs. The underlying card, the Hierophant.
Yep.
Okay.
I can
So
see that.
she's there to teach us a lesson.
Mhm.
And as an oracle, I pulled the Dragonfly. And the message on this is create your reality. Which again to me is exactly what we were talking about. Dealing with magic. We control this.
Yeah, we're the
With
magicians. Yeah.
with our thoughts. And let me just read a sentence here from that card, from this oracle deck. And by the way, this is the New Orleans oracle deck. Very very nice sentence here. Let me find it again. There are often triggers that can tempt us to dwell on what we do not want. But when the dragonfly shows up, it's letting us know that we've grown beyond our thoughts. It's now time to mindfully choose what will you focus on and how you will move forward in life.
Love these messages. Yes.
Thank you, Marie.
Yes.
Maybe I'll become a devotee of Marie as well. Kristen, you're on.
Okay. So I pulled from the Earth and Bone Oracle first, and I got the Beast. And it is conflict, competition, oppressors.
Hello.
And then so coming out of the gate, real strong here. So, and so then we got the Seven of Wands, got the Knight of Cups, and we got Judgment.
Jesus.
And the first thing that popped into my mind, and I don't know if this is an accurate reading of it, but it's what came to mind, is really the history of her people. And just you have the Seven of Wands, which is about, standing up for yourself, creating boundaries, doing what is right for you in that moment because someone is on the offensive towards you. And I can't help but think of the Haitians who really they rose up against the French and then the Spanish and took Haiti back. So basically, France they had got rid of slavery during the French Revolution. Well, Napoleon, was like, well, that's not very economically viable for us, so I'm going to try to bring it back. And so the French, under Napoleon, asshole, tried to re-enslave the Haitians, but they rose up and they successfully fought against the French. And then the Spanish tried to do it too. And the Haitians were like, no. And they were able to rise up and fight them as well.
Letting out the beast.
Yeah. And so I can't help but think that this is just about, having that passion, like the passion of her people, and holding on to that as something to be proud of. And just the Judgment card, the chickens came home to roost, for the French and the Spanish, and that could be a story of anyone's life, where, you stand up for yourself and win, have that win in your life, and to be a better person and a stronger person for going through that and coming out the other side, and I also pulled from what's it called? The Wild Goddess Oracle, and I got Survivor. Yeah. And so remember all you have endured and how resilient you have proven to be.
Kristen,
I just think, let's just.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just rambling at this point.
I'm flipping out because you were just telling us how these cultures were used for the oppressed to have a voice, and that's exactly what's resonating there to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's just telling the story of our people. That's what I'm getting.
Absolutely. And judgment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody gets their own. That was awesome.
These are amazing cards. I'm backing up a little bit here because we've been having some also knowledge dropped on us by Miss Beth. But I just wanted to make sure it's something about easily being construed. So let's see. I want to make sure. Honestly, there are different ways people define. Okay, we already got that. Easily misconstrued. I want to make sure I didn't miss any of the Miss Tarot D. Usually what I think is the correct definition. Well, of course, Miss Tarot D says it, then it's true. I am Miss Tarot D. You got to make your own deck with your sayings on. That would be a blast. I buy it. Let's see. You can. We're having conversations about, again, the great paths. But here, Janet was saying something about, I was cursed by a card reader begging at a smoke store, and another heroin addict that came to my front porch door and asked for a cigarette. Mad because I said, do you even know you're on private property? Go now. So you were cursed by a card reader, friend? Okay. I'm a little confused, Janet, on that one. Let's see. Ms. Tarot D, if I'm not walking the runway, I'm walking the yellow brick road.
I love that. That's a quotable quote right there.
There you go. Let's see. That's right, Ms. Tarot D. People come and go here. So, well, I just said it backwards. I transposed, so I apologize. People come and go so quickly here. Let's see. Irene was just making, she said, sounded very creepy about a sign that said Harvester of Souls. Irene, no, wait a minute. Here we go. Sorry, everybody. Chat jumps. Marie Laveau put a lot of hex on different people. She wasn't afraid. People paid her to do it for them. She would place things under people's front porches. Oh, my goodness. You don't want to cross that woman, let me tell you. Let's see. Irene says, the woman who put me in her freezer does here for money. She's quite wealthy, but it is a grifter in my view. So when we say she's here, I'm thinking, are you mean on YouTube? Let's see. And then Beth also said, Marie Laveau certainly created her own reality. She had a tremendous amount of power in New Orleans. That is what I hear. Miss Tarot D, Irene, do you mean she has a YouTube channel? And apparently, yes. So there's a person on YouTube that, okay. So Miss Tarot D is like, who is it? But Beth also continued, Laveau owned a hair salon, and the wealthy white women went there. They told her all their secrets, so she had all the dirt. I did not know that. And let's see. I'm going to get to yours, Brianne, in a second. Beth said, I read a couple of biographies on her, so that's how she got the information. And so, Brianne, this is very interesting. Last night, looked up at the tree behind my friend's house, and there was a huge shadow of a crow. But huge, it was at least 15 feet long, and seems lately crows are showing up everywhere I go. Got to look up what crow means and look up at some of the goddesses.
They're messengers from the dead.
And, crows, I know I'm working with the Morrigan. I'm wearing a crow actually around my neck right now. She's connected to crows and ravens and blackbirds. and I think there are a couple of others. Is Lilith associated with ravens or crows too?
No,
No. Okay.
not to my knowledge.
Okay. But I would research the crows most definitely. Brienne, that sounds incredible. Let's see. Irene says I have to think about that. Mr. OD. It's such a common name. I remember it being hard to just search for her on YouTube. Mystical Love and Light. I don't recognize that, so that's unfortunate if someone did that. And Irene is one of our friends up in Canada. So let's see. And then Brienne's continuing. Yesterday, I pulled a beautiful blackbird. I pulled a beautiful blackbird, and here in my kitchen on a wall plaque is a beautiful picture of a crow and bunnies. Looks like ancient Greece. Are they between pillars? They are between pillars. Just amazed. Interesting. Crows and bunnies.
And pillars.
But I would research that. This is what you are seeing. There must be a message. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Snakes. On to the next. It says card reader psychic at the convenience store begging. Wait a minute. Oh, that's what she was saying. Curse me to Eve. Oh, so Janet, you think she actually cursed you 20 years ago? It's even worse now. Oh my goodness. Well, I think a lot of that, some people do have the power. I mean, I'm just going to say this from my perspective, and what I think is possible. People do have power to be able to do that to others. And I think it's up. And, for some of us, are we strong enough to take that and say, I'm not going to believe in it. I'm going to call on my higher power to deflect it and work to be able to keep that from affecting me. That's all I can say, because I would assume that there are some people who are powerful enough to be able to do that, but I think in the long run, or in the end of it all, if this makes sense, that if we really believe in our higher power and our own inner power, we can put up those boundaries and be able to deflect and protect ourselves.
And if uncertain, there are rituals that you may want to practice to assist you in reinforcing those powers and the mental ability to just block the bad energy. But mostly is make sure that your vessel is full of good energy so that nothing comes in.
Exactly. I like that. So let's see. My friends often say that they see or hear crows and ravens when they're thinking about me. Well,
that's brilliant.
Jonathan's a Corvid. He's Dragon Corvid, so there you go. And he also said people only have as much power over you as you give them.
Exactly.
And Janet, you can circle a mirror around you so her badness goes right back to her. Yep. Wow, this has been a very interesting. Anything else? We are at 6:18. I don't know what your time constraints are, Roman or Kristen. Are you still good with time?
I'm fine.
I'm good for like 20 more minutes.
20 more minutes. So
yeah.
Do we want to open the floor up to see if anybody wanted, a reading? We can do.
Sure.
So how we kind of hang here is, let me pull this up here. No political questions. Most people know that. Third party.
Yes.
How we scared you now enough.
But no, this has been a very interesting conversation. I've thoroughly enjoyed having this. This has been a great show.
This has been good. I enjoyed it.
Kristen, I think you were the most reserved about it, and I thought your reading was absolutely mind blowing.
Wonderful! Thank you. I felt kind of stumbly, to be honest.
Nope. It all resonated with all of ours. Yeah.
Again, you were talking about using these underground religions to as a voice for the underprivileged, and that was the message that was coming to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Beth said in one of the books I read, it is said one of Marie Laveau's daughters became a devout Catholic and burned all her mother's notes, grimoire, spells, letters, etc. And the same thing happened to, and it's interesting, they both have the name of Marie Lenormand. When she passed, her nephew, I think it was, the only family, because she never had kids from if I remember correctly, he took and pretty much burned and got rid of all of her things too. And we lost a lot of that from her history as well. So it's interesting.
That's the history of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, and the people believe. So, but we are opening the floors. If anybody would like a reading, please let us know. And if it's just the general, or if it's something for the weekend, we'd be happy to do that as well.
Absolutely.
And Beth said exactly. And Brianne says, "Thank you all so much. Tonight has been very interesting." I would say so. So we'll just sit here and wait till we got next week.
Well, if nobody has any desire, we can always pull just one card for the community.
Collective, yeah. We can do collective readings.
Oh, wait, we got to take. Well, Brianne says she would like one, a general. So
okay,
and we can always end two if we don't get any more with a collective. That's a great idea. So let's get my talisman. Bye, Jonathan. Thanks for hanging out with us.
hi.
Hello, Jonathan. I want to get one of your callers. Those are awesome. I'll talk to you later.
His crystal grids. Oh my. Interesting. I think Marie's got a message for some people in here too tonight. I just got an interesting card. Here, let's put that back and use this one here. Love the sound of cards.
Ooh.
So, Brianne, this is very interesting. So, you got the Talisman Oracle, you got knowledge. And so, this knowledge, I'm looking at the image here. It's got a lantern. So, for me, it's like looking for knowledge, in search of knowledge. Letting that, and for the lamps, I always think of the Hermit card, the introspection, going within. So I'm seeing that with the blossoming flowers, the book, and the lantern, there is a lot of self-reflection. There's a lot of study. There's a lot of reading, maybe even journaling, working with your higher self to attain more knowledge. And also this knowledge that we're sharing about Marie Laveau. So of all Kristen's cards that came out, I thought this was amazing. This makes me think of Marie Laveau herself.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Isa card, you got Sacred Pause. So that's why I'm feeling like this is, she must have been hearing, you wanted messages from me from people? Here you go. So you got Sacred Pause. And again, with that lantern, the knowledge, the introspection, going within, tapping to your inner power, connecting with your we all have psychic abilities of some kind, and finding what that is and learning to listen to that and to trust that. Your tarot cards, I got the Queen of Cups. And Kristen, didn't you get a Queen of Cups, or was that a
Knight of Cups?
Knight of Cups?
Yeah.
With the Queen of Cups, so nurturing, knowledge, empathy, compassion. Again, the veil. This is about tapping into that deep intuition. And at this time, you're needing more of this. You need to give more of this to yourself. You got the Page of Swords also, and the Page of Swords is that like that inner child, that inner wandering, that wanting that knowledge. So the Page of Swords, just looking and wanting to learn how to communicate better, to connect better, and again, connecting again with that knowledge with the book. So the swords, all about communication, trusting that intuition, that compassion, that empathy. But I'm feeling a strong intuition, tapping into your divine feminine, or just that feminine energy and intuition that is yours. But what's in the middle right now is the Nine of Swords. So we got the swords again. So this is the swords of feeling like this is causing you anxiety. There's worry, there's stress. I don't know if the things that you are wanting to learn, wanting to educate yourself a bit, might be scaring you. You might be concerned of what other people think. Is this, concerning you? Is this going to, or is this right for my path? Am I doing the right thing? So for right now, is taking that sacred pause, going within, reflecting, connecting with your intuition, and being open to communication with your higher self, your guides, and receiving that knowledge. And that's what I have for you, my dear. Next.
Heather, so I think I'm kind of echoing your read, and I'll flash the three cards that I pulled simultaneously. So the first one was the Three of Swords. The next one was Justice.
There she is again.
And the third one was the Ace of Cups. What I'm interpreting here is there was some heartache or something that was affecting you in the past that you need to let go. You're finding your balance again, okay, and it's going to be a new beginning, a new emotional surge, yeah, because the overall energy surrounding this was the Ten of Wands. Now, end of a cycle, letting go of that burden or whatever is affecting you, and finding your balance. And the Oracle card, God bless. Keep going, Ms. Sarodi, along the yellow brick road. As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything that's holding you back. Again, it's mental. It's not it's something that we do to ourselves. Have faith and trust that things will get better down the yellow brick road. Kristen, you're on.
Okay, so I got Apprentice for the first card, and it says higher education, beliefs, wisdom. So that's the first card. And then the next card I got is the Tower. And then the Five of Pentacles. And then the King of Pentacles. So how I'm reading this is that sometimes I am not of the mind that everything happens for a reason. I believe sometimes shit goes south. And it just does. And it doesn't mean that it happened to you for a reason, but that doesn't mean that you can't harvest from it meaning, learning, wisdom, growth.
Absolutely.
And so as an apprentice, you are sort of learning by fire There's something that you've been through that you, for better or for worse, experienced, and you had to, be strong, and you had to harvest from it what you could. And you got the Five of Pentacles, which really is about, feeling like having that lack mentality, like feeling like, that I just don't have enough. There's something missing. There's something I need. And that can be valid. That could be a completely valid emotion to feel when you've been through something. And to feel like you're incomplete, like there's something missing. But what I see is like you're the king. There's the King of Pentacles, and he is the king of his realm. He oversees everything. He has the power over his life and over his resources. So I think what this is just doing is encouraging you, saying like you're stronger than you think you are. You have more power in your life than you think you do. And the last card I got you got the Lover. And it says, with love, all things are possible, for love replaces your confusing doubts and weakening fears with faith in yourself.
Love it. Yeah. What was that last deck you were using? I love the collage.
This one?
No.
That's this is the Wild Goddess Oracle.
Ooh, the one with all those collages. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Zerner Farber deck. So I love their artwork.
Yeah.
The Wild Goddess, very cool. And so Brienne's been like, yes, yes, yes. She says, I am, yes, feeling trust lately. Yes, I am wondering. Thank you, Heather. Okay, so between Roman and you working, yes, thank you. Wowza. Thank you. I've been so indecisive. So as you're going on, she's been saying yes. Oh, yes, true. Oh, thank you, Kristen. And thank you, Roman and Kristen. So we love hearing that. Thank you. So we haven't been asked for any others. So do we want to end the show with a collective?
Sure.
For everybody? All right.
Yeah, we're on a roll here. Brad, thank you for allowing us to reach you, and thank you to the Spirit.
Yes.
The information, I think, I think it resonated pretty well.
For the
how many cards are you ladies pulling out? The same? Or?
Oh, whatever you feel called to. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Irene says, I'm always up for a collective reading. Me too. Tom goes, oh, you're still on? I was making coffee for my wife. I think we lost Miss Carol D too. Fridays are long days for Miss D because of treatment and stuff. So I appreciate that she was even here to hang out with us.
She's amazing. She has a
gift, yeah.
About popping up at the most unexpected times, and
yeah, I was getting out of the shower the one day and trying to wrap a towel around me, and Shannon's like, Mr. O'D's calling you on the video, and I'm sitting here with my towel on, going, yeah. So what's going on, Mr. O'D? So you never know when she's going to pop up, most definitely. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, we appreciate everybody who has joined. Boo! Jax, I was wondering where you were tonight, girl. How's it going? So, nice to see you popping in, my dear. So, message for the collective. I got the connection card. So the message for the collective is connection, connecting with others, not just, our inner partners, but connecting with everybody. And I love how touching foreheads in this deck, it's that beautiful, even some cultures, that's how some people say hello. They bring their foreheads to each other in a sign of, I see you and I see in me, that kind of where, it's acknowledged. So making beautiful connections with others, connecting with yourself too, loving yourself. That is always important. Next card from the talisman, one that comes out a lot, and I like this one. Good luck with the little ladybug. So again, the good luck. When we connect with others, that brings that same energy. For some people, that might be good luck, but that's that beautiful energy of, well-being, successful. When we connect with others, we bring more of the like. And it's interesting that there's, two connecting circles in here, and we have these two beautiful souls being connected by that beautiful energy, that circle of life as well. For the tarot cards, I got Knight of Pentacles. So this coming weekend, collective message, taking things slow, hanging back a bit, keeping an eye on everything, keeping an eye on health, finances, security, stability, any projects. This is like the slowest moving suit. So this is the Knight of Pentacles, who just kind of takes a step back and surveys everything before rushing in. Middle card is Six of Swords. So when everything is all set and in place, moving forward, leaving, the past behind, leaving not just the past, but things that are bothering, moving forward, going this weekend, leaving the things from this past week behind, and just moving forward into more calmer, gentle waters this weekend, taking it easy. And then the overall energy on the bottom is the Four of Wands, which is about celebration, foundation, enjoying oneself with either, again, celebrating, time with others, connecting with others, and just really taking life slowly and just taking the time to appreciate, look around, and being grateful, for everything we have. Because we are coming up on Thanksgiving weekend, Thanksgiving week next week. So this is going to be a time where we know things can be, a little hectic and a little stressful. So just Knight of Pentacles, just chill, lay back, and connect with your loved ones. So, Roman?
Well, I got a rather complex message here, because the first card I get is Judgment card, but in reverse. And the second card is the Wheel of Fortune, right side up. And the third card is the Six of Swords in reverse. So the message that I'm getting here is, that perhaps we are blocking ourselves from receiving the messages that will help us attain the higher self, and we need to pay attention to that. The Wheel of Fortune, sometimes life is up, sometimes life is down. We're in constant change. We need to take the opportunity to seize the moment, seize the better part of life. The Six of Swords, perhaps we are afraid of embarking in the emotional or spiritual journey, but we ought not to be afraid. The underlying card again came up with the Magician. So we have trust that we have everything within our power to make that wheel turn, to reach our higher selves. Trust the messages that are being sent. And the Oracle deck came up is number 29, Spiritual Knowledge. Okay, so again, listen to those sounds of those people connecting with the ravens. There's a message there for you. The spirituality is there. It's up to us how we use it and make the best out of it.
Cool. Nice. And we both got the Six of Swords. That's interesting. Kristen.
Cool. Okay, so the first card I got is Stoicism. And the keywords are peacefulness, receptiveness, and manifestation. Next card is the Empress. Then I got the Devil.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then the Three of Pentacles. So I'm drawn toward the word manifestation since we got the Empress. And so I see this as a card of birthing for birth to something into your life. So there is something that is, what's the word? Sort of incubating. There's something in you that's incubating that needs to be, fed and brought forth and born. Unfortunately, we got the devil, and we all have a devil on our shoulder who is, weighing us down. This could be some sort of fixation or addiction. As we could be addicted to social media. I know, admittedly, I am. And that can really throw you off course if there's something you're fixating on that's not the eye on the prize of your own evolution, your own individuation, and becoming who you're meant to become and could become. But you can't do it alone. So we got the Three of Pentacles. So we can't do it in a vacuum. There's becoming who we want to be. It's not a lone path. It's a partnership. To become who you are meant to be and who you can be, you've got to turn to other people. You can't just cut people out. And so the last card I got is the Shaman, and it is work on healing and empowering yourself if you want to be useful to others as their own journey from suffering to healing. So, yeah, I think this is just calling us to go on that spiritual path, to be the best, spiritual being, and, to manifest into our lives what we're meant to manifest. Yeah. So.
And not be afraid to ask for help.
To me, the devil is fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Letting fear keep you in bind.
Yeah. There is such a thing as fear of success. I think that's a very common fear.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like the higher you fly, the harder you fall, and that's a legitimate fear.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow. This was a great show.
Intense.
Thank you, Roman, for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies. That were wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes, this was wonderful.
And Jack said, if you let your soul sing, you find your joy. Don't be afraid to take that baby out for a spin.
Are we talking about a baby or a motorcycle?
Maybe both.
So Roman, you guys.
Some people's motorcycle is their baby.
You guys are coming up on your channel. You want to share?
Who?
The most immediate thing is what is it on the 18th? I will be joining Ginger, Faye, and Nancy of the Tuition. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Nice. How about you, Kristen?
I fly by the seat of my pants on my channel. So like if I have time to do something, if I have the energy to do something, I'll do something. So I might do another tag. I might do a ramble in the woods. I've been wanting to do one for eons.
Yes.
So yeah, so I might want to do one of those soon
I would
before
love
it gets
to
too
see
cold.
one of those.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the other ones that you used.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And you can do anything. Trust me.
Oh, thank you.
And this weekend, I usually like to pop on, but I'm going to be taking a astrology and folk alchemy workshop at a place here in town. It's going to be like 6 to 7 hours per day. So I'm going to be too tired to be able to, or my day's going to be I'm not going to be.
Yeah.
By the time I'm done, I come home. Everybody will be in bed anyways, getting close, to my time. So,
Heather, find out how to break that spell of putting somebody in the freezer, if you can.
Oh, stop!
Yes.
Your homework.
And then Monday I will be back. Miss Nancy is feeling better. Thank you, everybody, for sending her all that healing energy and support. I love my Nancy, and she was in a rough way there for a while. So she'll be back, and we'll be doing our show on Monday. So I'm excited for that. And that's pretty much it right now. So again, thank you, Roman. Thank you, Kristen, for
Yes,
hanging
thank
out with
you.
me.
Thank
It
you,
was a
Heather, for
blast.
having us.
You're always welcome on a Friday night. You know, I'm flying solo now on Friday. So whenever anyone has a free time, hey, I want to come out hang? Sure, just let me know.
Well, you know, I love to troll you all the time.
Yeah. Hey, just get a hold of me if you want to. So everybody, we hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you again. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Ashe. Ashe.